Hi everybody, it's Carol at Mainly Pilates. I don't know if you remember, but it's leg day today. You need some sort of scarf and some of you have these bands. Any band will do. It's not about strength, it's about a surprise. Okay, and a drink. So yeah, leg day, and we're going to work everything. Hi Fionn. What a gorgeous day it's been, hasn't it? So it's just gone 6 o'clock. Perhaps we should start. So it's all about the legs, right from your feet right to, hi, how are you, right up to the calves and the ankles, the knees, the hips and the bum. So the rest gets let off very lightly actually today, because we did say it was leg day. Please, if you have been told by your doctor or physiotherapist that you should not be exercising, then do not do this. And if you have been told by a doctor or a physiotherapist that you should be doing exercises, bear in mind what they've said, because I can't see you and it's your body and you've only got one of them, and so you have to look after it yourself. Take some control. You do what you can do. Anytime you need to rest, you must rest. Yes, we're going to be working quite hard. Oops. So of course your legs might get tired, your legs might start shaking, but do the best you can. It is a workout after all, but you should feel great after it. I've talked about the DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. You might have them tomorrow. Oops. And the only way to get rid of them is to keep moving. So let's start. Of course, we always start with setting up the body. So we start with our feet together, turn your toes out at 10 to 2 and lift your heels behind. And if you look now, my hips are in line with my knees and my feet. Now we want to lift the neck by pulling from the middle of the head, lifting, taking the shoulders down and back. Have a look at this, down and back. Neutral spine. I'm going through this quickly because this is like week 4, 5, 6, can't remember. Now make that smaller and smaller until you stop in the middle. You should still have a little arch here, bit of a lump here, nice arch here. That's normal. Okay, now we want to engage the core. So I will say engage the core. I will say tummy tight to your spine. I'll say abs. All those times, hi there, all those times I say that, all I mean is to cough and bring it in. So from the side, it's like this, cough, from here, cough, bringing it in. Pelvic floor lifting inside. I can't see it, you can't see it. Nobody knows you're working it. Hi Carol. Just lift it up inside, lower it halfway, a little bit more so it's 30%, and that's where you need it. So the idea then is to do all the other exercises I'm going to ask you to do, like flinging arms and legs here and there, whilst keeping this engaged, pelvic floor lifted, shoulders back, neck lengthened. As we work, we tend to hunch or find a shortcut, but we've got to try and keep that perfect. Okay, that's your setup. So we breathe in through the nose for 4 and out through the nose, out through the mouth for 4. Hi there. I don't know how that works, waving. Okay, so in for 4 and exhale for 4. And you should be able to maintain that breath rate all the way through. So we've still got people joining. Hi Gina. Hi Ant, I hope you're doing it as well. Okay, so I have explained if you've got any illnesses, any ailments, injuries. I know somebody on watching now has got a knee issue. I will give you an option for knee issues. And you just have to look after it yourself. And if you've been told not to do any exercise, blooming don't do any. Okay, let's start then. We're going to mobilise all the joints first. So we inhale. Oh, set your watch. Pilates, because we weren't even here if we don't. There you go. Exhale across to the side, no shoulder movement. Inhale back. Inhale, exhale off to the other side. Remember your pelvic floor, your core, your shoulders. Inhale back. Keep that going. Exhaling to the side, inhaling back. Exhale to the other side, inhaling back. You always make sure you keep going. Make sure you do the same amount on both sides. Okay, now we're going to do a circle with the nose. Hi Audrey. So, circle the nose. Now, if you remember, keep going, if you remember, you do everything with a small range of movement first, and then, as long as that doesn't hurt, then you make the movement bigger and bigger. So that's no issue for me. So now I go as big as I can go before my head falls off. Still breathing in for 4, through the nose, out for 4, through the mouth. Still got my core engaged. Change direction. That is nice. And I've been sat at my desk all day, so this is lovely. You know, I try and sit up straight, but often I end up like this. So it's back. Now we want to work the shoulders. So imagine you have a pencil here and a pencil here. And you draw a small circle with the pencils, and then you go as big as you can without any pain. Hi Louise. If you've got any questions, I can see them. Big as you like. This should be lovely, especially if you've been driving, if you've been lucky enough to drive, or you've been sitting all day. And you can do these anytime. You can do them while you're watching telly, while you're waiting for the kettle. Change direction. So we always mobilise first, and it's not about gymnastics and stretching, it's about mobilising the joints. That's all it is. Because you're going to be using them and putting them under pressure. You mobilise them first. Okay, now we're going to bring both arms in together and draw a small circle with the arms. Okay, now you can make it as big as you like, as long as you don't go into pain. Now I know somebody here's got a shoulder issue, so one shoulder might be going small and the other one might be going big. It's up to you, it's your body. And make sure you don't end up arching your back. We want to keep that neutral spine. Hi. That's one of my students just gone past. Change direction. And we're going to go out to the side. So have a look. Is it all shoulder height? Yes. Stay at shoulder height and long and short and long and short. So all these stretches and mobility at the beginning of the class are all pretty much on the move. And they are to improve your mobility before you start exerting your muscles. At the end of the class is when we use long, holding, static stretches. And they're called developmental. Let's move this way. Developmental stretches. Oh, that's nice. Again, making sure you're not arching your back, keep your neutral spine. Okay, now I'm going to move down the body. I do the same routine. Obviously there's some changes to exercises, but basically I do this because it's easier then for you to remember, because if you're doing the same mobilisation every class, then when you're not with me, it should be really easy for you to remember, starting at the head and the neck, and the shoulders and the waist, legs, hips, legs and feet. That's why I do it like that. Change direction. So But even though you're at the front here, you're still engaging your core. So you're pulling your belly button as tight to your spine as you can. And we do that because then hopefully it becomes a habit. And even when you're just minding your own business, doing stuff, you will still hold it there, and it's strengthening your core the whole time. And strengthening your core is what gives you good posture and prevents your back pain and your neck pain and your shoulder pain. Right, so I know somebody here's got a bit of a back issue, so you can carry on doing that, but anybody else who wants to can start bringing the upper body around the lower body. We're not really using the back much today, but we always mobilise it anyway. We don't want to start doing exercises with a static still back. Hi Ian. And then change direction. It's a really nice stretch for your back. If you've been down on the floor, bending over gardening, this is a lovely one. Or digging, or anything. Okay, now we're just going to take one arm down and back up. Notice I'm not moving forward at all. I am keeping off. Imagine I'm between two panes of double glazing. Okay, now we're going to move on to the area that we're working on a lot. Right, so if you want a lot of help with your balance, you can hold on to something. If you've got something there you can hold on to. I haven't. Eek. And I'm on wobbly grass. Don't fancy my chances. Swinging the leg front to back. So we're just mobilising the hip. And if you keep your foot, this is a pointy foot, this is a flexed foot. If you keep your foot flexed, no, that's not working. If you keep your foot flexed, then every time you come out here, you get a nice gentle stretch down the back of the leg. Keeping that core engaged. A mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to fling their leg up is they bend the other leg and tip the pelvis under. That's not helping at all, that's masking. That's masking a problem. So even if you can only swing this far, I've got my straight leg supporting me, and that's enough. And every time I come back, I get a squeeze in my bum. Okay, if you need more help here, or please hold on to something. So now we need to go across the body. It's very difficult standing on one leg on grass on a mat. Doesn't matter, I don't care if I fall over. Okay, now lift the knee, turn it out. And again, lift the knee, turn it out. Change direction. And then we do the same on the other side. I'm actually on a slight hill as well. Not easy, but then who said it was? And this is why we do Pilates without any shoes on, because the shoes are what supports you, and so the shoes do the work instead of your body doing the work. Side to side. Hope you're all okay. Okay, lift the knee, turn it out. And the other way. So now the hips are nicely warmed up. We're using those a lot today. Strength and mobility. Okay. Now lift one knee, straighten it, bend it, straighten it, bend it, straighten it. So from the side it looks like this. Now anytime your legs are aching, because we've got a huge workout, so anytime your legs are aching, just do this. And do this to your ankles, anything, so change leg. Anything just to get the blood flow back, make you feel better. And ankle. Right, I think we're good to go now. So, first move we're going to do is balance. we're standing on one leg. It's the archer balance. So you start with your hands palm to palm. The first one you can do, you draw your hand back, and my eyes stay looking at my thumb the whole time. And then bring it back on the breath and off to the other side. Notice my hips aren't turning, just my upper body. Okay, so you can carry on doing that, but the idea is we are going to lift one leg, and as you lift it, draw the arm back and down. So this is a moving balance. Sorry, I started with something so hard. Got cramp in my foot. If you're struggling or you're new to this, you can literally just go onto your tiptoe on the floor. And then when you feel ready, you could just lift your toe off a fraction. So this is still a balance, but I've got people here that have been doing this with me for a long time, and they're getting very good. Always do an even number, both sides. Okay, shake it all off. Blimey, Glenn. Hi, Glenn. Right, now we've got some hard work for the feet, ankles, calves, bum, thighs, the whole lot. Right, this helps with your balance. This makes it a little bit harder because you haven't got the ballast, and this makes it harder still. I'm going to start here because I'm on grass, and on a mat on grass, and it's not difficult. All we've got to do, I say all we've got to do, you watch the timing. I want you to go up on your tiptoes, slowly, but my feet are sticking to the mat. That's interesting. Okay, so I'm now on my tiptoes, stay there, and lower down slowly. We're going to do 5 of everything. And it's not about getting up there quickly, it's about going up very slowly under control. Now if you watch, if I've got weak feet and ankles, they'll be doing this. And what I've got to try and do is get them under control. Carry on. I need to put, oh, I haven't got any. I'll put my socks on because my feet are slipping. So it's not as easy as it looks, is it? And yet us girls, we have to walk around in those heels. Right, so I've done 5 now, nice and slow. Now I'm going to take my feet at 10 to 2. Hi. And same again. So now my knees are going to go out over my toes. That was really bad. Did you see my ankles and everything moving for the first one? That's better. So it's all about as slow as you can. That's 3. Can you feel your calf muscles contracting? All your feet are trying to wobble, aren't they? And you're having to work really hard to get them under control. I think it's 1 more. Yeah, rubbish I am at counting. Okay, so there's 5 there. Now we're going to take the feet really wide into what's called a sumo position. Very wide. What you'll notice here is you need to squeeze your bum and your inner thighs to do the same thing. So it's much more difficult. And down. So somebody did come to me a couple of weeks ago and I gave them a whole bunch of exercises for weak ankles. These were all included. So I noticed this is much tougher on this calf than the other one. 1 more, I think. And right, we need to shake those ankles off. Hi, Isabel. Okay, there we are, shake them off. Now we're going to do squats. We're going to do all 3 squats. We're going to do squats here, and sumo squats. So, but it's about the speed, because honestly this is great for getting your heart rate up, but we're doing them really slow and under control. So my feet are hip distance apart, my feet are facing the front, and as I squat down, everything stays facing the front. I go as low as I can go without any pain. And what I will notice, I'm keeping my body upright, what I'll notice is after the first couple, I'll be able to go a bit lower. I'm keeping my heels on the floor, and as I want to push up, I'm pushing up through the heels. So we've got 2 more. And 1 more. Brilliant. Shake them out. Now we're going to do the same at 10 to 2. So my feet are 10 to 2 and I go down slowly, 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 slowly. As far as you can without any pain. Now if you've got knee issues, which I know one of you has, this will do. Stay here. It's fine. What you're doing is strengthening your legs, which will support your knee without hurting your knee. But for everybody else, we go all the way down and up at this speed. Notice my knees are still going over my toes because it's really bad for your hips if they cave in. There, I can feel that. So there's 5 there, shake them off. And the next 5 are at sumo, so that's very, very, very wide. And again, you'll feel your bum working a lot harder. So I'm really wide. Ready? Inhale. Exhale again. Knees need to go out over your toes. They don't let them cave in. It's really bad for you. And again. And I think 1 more. Brilliant. Feel the bum work. Feel it all work in a different place. Okay, shake it off. So, we're going to combine the 2 now, which is a bit difficult for balance. So, up onto your toes. Now you're on your toes, you very slowly go down into your squat, wherever that may be. You will find you can go a bit further because your calves are what normally stops you. And down. Up again. Down. Fight those ankles, moving all over the place. There's 2. Not easy. Oh, 3. 2 more. And 1 more. Brilliant. Shake it off. Hi Sarah. Okay, guess what? We're now at 10 to 2. Okay, so inhale onto your toes. Exhale, squat down, taking the feet over. Again, remember if you've got bad knees, you could stop here. Or if you haven't got bad knees, all the way down. And up. And down. So I'm telling you, if you're lucky enough to be on thinnish carpet or wood or tiles, you have a much easier go of this than being on grass. But anyway, I'm not complaining because it's making me work harder. Ooh, yes. 2 more. And last one. Bet you can't guess what's coming next. Well, it's better than hit, isn't it? Or is it? Brilliant. Shake them off. Now we're going to do sumo wide, which is very, very wide. And same again. Now this one will make your bum work a lot harder, I think. So up onto your toes. Then sumo squat, taking the knees over the toes. And then back up. And relax. Inhale. Oh heck. See why I can't walk in high heels, can't you? Two more. And one more. Can't help but say I'm glad that's over. Right, circle the ankles, hip the knees. So, stand on one foot and just straighten, bend, straighten, bend. And the other one. Just to get the blood supply. And then kick the heels on the bum. Right, now here's the big test. I bet I can't do it here. But this is what I do when I clean my teeth. So I'm going to go up onto my tiptoes. And then I'm going to try and lift one foot off the floor. I hope you're better at it than me. So I've got to tell you though, when I'm cleaning my teeth, I am really good at this. So there's your homework, on your heel, on your toes, while you're cleaning your teeth, one at a time. That's so good. If you can do that, your ankles are really nice and strong. Well done. Right. The next one is something specifically for your feet. So this is where I brought the scarf along, but also I bought a sheet of toilet paper. So even me and the Queen go to the toilet. So when you go to the toilet and you've got nothing on you, or you can even do it with just socks or shoes on, but socks on but no shoes. So when you're going to the loo, put a sheet of toilet paper on the floor, put your foot over it, scrunch your foot up to pick up the loo roll. You can do that as many times as you like. That is a really good strengthener for your feet, and it helps your buniony bones. So always do the same on both sides. But like I say, you don't have to wait till you're on the toilet. You can do it while you're watching telly, because you pick up a scarf or a tea towel. So what we're going to do is do 5 on each side. So I'm going to start here. 1, pick it up. 2, pick it up. 3, pick it up. You must be able to feel all your foot working underneath. So that's what you're stretching and strengthening. Okay, and I'm going to do 5 on the other side. So there's your homework. You've got lots of homework, haven't you? Got to clean your teeth on one foot on tiptoes. Now every time you go to the sorry, I keep losing connection, don't I? One more. Brilliant. Now you can have a seat. Okay, now we're going to work the thigh muscle, but by sitting down. And if you've ever had a knee operation, as I have years ago, this is one of the exercises your physio will be giving you. So I'm giving you permission to lean back if you want to. You can even lie down if you want to, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to start here with my knees and feet hip distance apart, like this. Okay. I do want good posture, if you don't mind. So even if you're leaning back, instead of your shoulders like this, please have your shoulders down and back, neck lifted. Okay. Core engaged. So imagine you have a wheel underneath this heel, like those trainer roller boot things. So you wheel your leg out and wheel it back. And we're going to do on the other side and wheel it back. Right, now we're going for it. So you wheel it out with me, exhale, lift it so it's parallel with the other knee, lower it and bring it back in. Now you can either do 5 on each side if you're new to Pilates, or my hardcores will do 5 on one side and then 5 on the other. So 5 isn't very many, is it? Come on. 3, 3. Notice the speed, not flinging it out, flinging it in. One more. Really feel your thigh muscle working and your core. There we go. And now I'm going to do 5 the other side. If you're swapping over, that's absolutely fine. This side's easier. Must be stronger. So remember, this is a pointed toe, this is a flexed foot. We want flexed so that every time you lift it, you're getting a stretch down the back of the leg and the calf, because you've just been using the calf really hard. I think this is 4, isn't it? Last one. Brilliant. Now we're going to work the hips, thighs as well, but hips. So I'm sitting up straight. You can lean back again as long as you've got your shoulders down the back. You've got your feet flexed. Now if you look, apart from the fact that I've got this buniony bone, my feet are straight up to the sky. They have to stay straight up to the sky. In other words, I don't want them turning at all. So I've got my foot, I've got my wheel underneath my heel, and without turning my foot out, I'm going to see how far I can go, under control, and back. It's not that far. If I were to turn my foot out, I can go miles, but that's using a completely different muscle to what we want. So here we go, and you can do, again, you can do 5 on one side, then 5 on the other, if you're a bit stronger, or if you're new to it, you can do 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. See how my foot doesn't turn out, so if you look from the side, I don't do this at all, keep it upright. Here's the last one, and back. Now I have to do the other side. Notice how hard that's worked, and now how hard the hip has worked. I've done 6, sorry, wrong again. Okay, so how does that feel? So now you just need to do a bit of this, and a bit of this. So the next one is single leg circles. Okay, we always do a mini one first. So the mini one, we're going to do 3 in each direction. So I need to have a neutral spine. If you put your hands like this in a diamond and put your fingertips on your pubic bone and your thumbs on your belly button. Now if I'm like this, I notice that my thumbs are lower than my fingers. In other words, they're not parallel with the sky. If I've got a big arched back, again, they're not parallel. But if I've got a neutral spine, they are parallel with the ceiling or the sky, and that's where I need to keep them. Then you need to brace your abs. So from here you just switch it on. In other words, bring your thumb down. Do you see the difference there? So I've got my thumbs on my ribs, fingertips on my hips. It's called imprinting the spine. So I'm not bringing my pelvis up to my ribs. I am taking my ribs down to my pelvis. It's a small movement. What that does, it switches your 6-pack on to help you. Okay, so switching the 6-pack on. Take one leg up to tabletop, which means the knee is directly up to the ceiling. And now, imagine I have the last glass of wine in the whole wide world on this knee. I'm going to draw a small circle on the sky with this knee while this one stays still. If you can see from there, but it looks like this. So do 3 circles, small circles, one way. Keeping this as still as you can. And through the other way. Okay, and then same on the other leg. 3 one way. Notice it's not about moving the knee joint, it's about moving the hip. And the same the other way. Right, so what you've got to make a note of is if your back came off the floor even a tiny bit, then it's a tough exercise for your back and core, and you need to make sure you get a bit stronger. So you can carry on doing that, but for those of you that have got that strong spot core that you can keep your back on the floor, now you can take your legs straight, and now with your heel you're going to draw a circle on the sky, and you go as big as you can. So I'm going to put this leg down to get it out of the way. So there's one. We're going to do 5 each way. See the speed? 2, 3. If you're doing this on your own, you could later again, you can press pause and do, say, 10. I would do 10 normally each way, but it's quite tough. 3, 4, 5, and 5 the other way. Notice the speed. 1. So all my upper body's relaxed. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to change the legs now, so 5 each way. 1, 2. So again, pointy toes are pretty, but if you flex your foot, you're getting a lovely stretch every time you come up here. So I call it multitasking. 3, 4. Can you hear that? Clunk. 5. Change direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still got your belly tight, tight, tight. 5. Brilliant, well done. Shake them off. Next exercise is shoulder bridge. Now, there's lots of versions of shoulder bridge. So we're going to do, I'll show you from, oh, who's that? Hi, Les again. I hope you're enjoying it. You can message me or anything. Right, because we're working on the legs, we're going to do shoulder bridge with our knees together and our ankles together. So you don't want your knees coming apart, you don't want your ankles doing this, you want them to stay straight. So you inhale, and as you exhale, peel first your bum, then 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way up to the top. So I'm in a nice straight line, squeezing your bum, ankles close together, and if you feel you want to work a bit harder, you can actually go up onto tiptoes and down, tiptoes and down. We're here for a while. If you get cramp down the back of the leg or the calf while you're doing this, get the legs straight quickly and pull the toes back as quick as you can. Just so it doesn't kind of like it just bites and gets stuck there. I'm feeling that already. Rest when you need to. Keep going. But if you need to rest, come to here and roll around on your spine. And if you don't need to rest, keep going. I think we've done about 12 or 13. Keep going. I did say it was leg day. Okay, how you feeling? Okay, and down you come. Bring one leg in, other leg in. Roll around on your spine. So we're going to do a side exercise. I'm going to do it this way to show you something. Again, right. So we're just going to get comfy. Just watch my feet, first of all. I'm in a nice straight line. Best way to get in a straight line if you're new to this. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulder on the back of the mat. So I'm perfectly comfortable. So if I were to turn my foot towards the sky, well, we can get it all the way up here, but you're using your hip flexor muscles that we use all the time, all day we use them for standing and sitting. What we want to target is this muscle here. So instead of turning the foot, we keep the foot flat. And that's the movement we want. And it's got to be nice and slow. So we're going to do 10 long ones, like this. And then we'll do 10 pulses. And then we'll do 10 more of these and 10 pulses. So there's 3, 4, 5. Remember to hold tight onto that tummy, tight to the spine, which is switching your abs on, all those other things. Imagine you have a candle under your waist. So in other words, instead of just flobbing down into the mat, you're actually trying to lift that off the mat. Okay, I think one more and then we pulse at the top. This is like the overload. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and down. And 10 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're here, 10 pulses. I don't know about you, but that's killing me now. So bend that leg forward, leave the hip there, but drop the knee towards the floor. I'll show you a trick. So what I'm doing now is if I keep this hip here and drop the knee to the floor, I'm getting a stretch in my bum, the glute. But people say they don't feel it because what they've done is they've let the hips sag in, so you don't get the stretch. If you keep the hip back here and then drop it, you do get the stretch there. And if you want to, you can bash it, which gets a nice blood supply back. And then of course we'll do the same the other side. So, line yourself up, relax, hands here to help with balance. Setting yourself up, candle under your waist, hips straight up to the sky, smile. And take one leg up without turning the toes to the ceiling. 4. Somebody started a lawnmower. How dare they? You see, this side's much better than the other side. Because I did a big workout this morning and my hip on that side is just stiff, that's all. Anybody counting? How many have I done? 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the last one, so we hold it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, drop it down, leave the hip there, bring the knee up and drop the knee to the floorish. That's a nice stretch. So I've got down 2 more exercises that are hard work. It's 1:45. First one we're going to do is scissors. So remember I said about the hip flexors are the ones at the front? Well, scissors are really going to use these. So, here we go. I prefer it this way, I'm on a slope. Okay. So, I've got my feet hip distance apart, backs into the floor, shoulders down and back. Inhale and raise one leg to tabletop again. Replace it. Do the other one. How does that feel? Can you do that? And does your back stay exactly where you put it without it arching up at all or doming? If you can, you can bring the other leg up to meet it. Now, if you've got any back issues, yes, the dog's back. Now, we're doing scissors to use these hip flexor muscles. So all I do is I lower one heel to the floor. Notice it's not a knee movement, it's a hip movement. Hello. And the other one. Okay, so this is scissors. Oh my God. If I bring this knee back here, it's resting. Oh my God, here we go. So I try and keep that knee right above my hip. Now, some of you seasoned Pilates goers will be doing this. When you need to rest, you do this. And other seasoned Pilates people will have their legs up here, straight legs. Makes it harder because they're heavier when they're longer, believe it or not. Same legs. If you knock that over, I shall kill you. And you can come up here and do it here. Keep it here, this side. Don't forget to rest when you need to. You really feel your core working now, can't you? And all your front of your thighs and your hip flexors. And if you've got your feet flexed, you are getting a hamstring stretch each time. Okay, I've had enough. Come on in. We've got one more exercise, and then it's all about the stretches. Standing one. It's killer. We'll end on a toughie. Right. Okay, so, hello. Hello. Right, so we're doing side lunges. So you have your feet wide, knees are going to be going out. See how my feet are turned out at 10 to 2. Hands wherever you need them, and drop into a lunge over here. Now we're staying low, and while we're low, we're skimming across to the other side. As low as you can go without, if it's hurting your knee, don't do it. But if this is easier for you with a bad knee, that's great. But otherwise, we're here. It's just the last one to kill you off before we stretch. Rest when you need to. So I haven't decided what I'm doing next week. So if somebody wants to send me, oh, you still got your core tight, still got your pelvic floor lifted, so it shows them back. If somebody wants to message me what you fancy doing next week, it's all free. You can share it with anybody you like. I put it on a YouTube and then put the link on Facebook so you can share it far and wide, and anybody you can do it, and then you can do it as many times as you like. Okay, I've had enough. So I come to standing, and now I need to shake off. So all we got to do now is stretch, which is lovely. So we're going to do a standing quads. This is your quads. We've used those loads. We've used the hip flexors loads. Hold on to something if you need to. Bring this foot where your laces are up into your hand. Now, if you've got knees out here, there's no stretch. As soon as you bring your knees together and your foot behind, then you get your stretch in your thigh muscle. Take that knee as far down to the floor as you can. So you're pushing the knee away. This is the dog that's just been on a big walk. Would you believe it? Okay, rest the foot down. Show you from the side. Bending this knee, taking this foot out. Flex the foot. Dip down, keep shoulders down and back, dip down. So, while I've got a rounded back, I have no stretch in my hamstring. As soon as I try to arch my back and spin my hips out, now I've got a nice stretch all down my hamstring. These, if you remember, I don't know, a few weeks ago I did an exercise. I did a video on stretching after walking or cycling or running, and these are all those stretches. You always do them long stretches at the end of your class because they're developmental stretches, and what they're doing is they're putting the muscle back to the length it was before. Now I stand up, but I want to stretch this calf muscle. So take 1 foot forward, my feet are parallel facing the front, and then I ease that ease that heel down, my knee like strong and straight, easing that heel down, and I've got a stretch in the calf. While you're here, you can also stretch the chest. So let's have a think about that. Multitasking. Brilliant. And we do all the same things on the other side. So now I'm going to lift this knee, legs together, knees together, pushing that knee towards the floor, stretching my thigh muscle. Any comments, questions are all welcome. Sun's gone in. And drop it to the floor, push the heel to the floor, bend the leg, dip down, and the most important thing is to push the bum out. So from the side it's like this. This is no stretch, this is a stretch. Out of it, but we're now stretching this calf. So we take this foot back, ease the heel down towards the floor, and now we can also stretch across the top of the back. So now we need to just stretch the inner thighs. Methinks the best way to stretch the inner thighs really is to go down, show you, down to the floor here, straighten the legs as best you can. Some of you won't be able to straighten your legs, it doesn't matter. If you can straighten your legs, we go here, and then we go across to the side a little bit, bend the leg. So from the front, it looks like this. Bend the leg, getting an inner thigh stretch. And back in, and off to the other side. And this is it now. So your inner thigh stretch might be here. As soon as you feel a slight tension here, that's your inner thigh stretch. Everybody's will be different, and one side will be better than the other. And back up. Come back up to standing. So, that was tough, wasn't it? Okay, well, I want to say thank you very much for joining me again. And remember, you can do this as many times as you like, make as many comments or suggestions for next week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye bye. Oh, hi Emma. Thank you, Sarah.